Hi everyone, welcome to my final mock draft for the 2021 NFL Draft. Obviously, today's draft day, so let's get started. And I think the first two picks are locked and loaded with Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson going to the Jaguars and Jets, respectively. And I think the draft really starts in number three, where everything we've heard so far has the 49ers taking Mac Jones, who is supposedly the best quarterback at reading information, processing it, making the best read, which would ideally make him a really good fit for Kyle Shanahan's offense. So I think with the amount of information we have, I think Mac Jones will be the pick at number three, which means I think four would be a trade up spot for a lot of teams looking to get a quarterback. But I think the Falcons will stand pat and draft Trey Lance because they've done a lot of work on him and they really like him as a prospect. And I don't think that they'll have a chance to grab a successor for Matt Ryan. So I think similarly to how the Giants drafted Daniel Jones with Eli Manning still on the team, I think that's what the Falcons will do, especially given their cap constraints and Julio Jones being on the trade block. And at number five, everybody says that they're going to pick Jamar Chase, who did play college football with Joey Burrow, who is the quarterback of the Bengals. I think they should go Penei Sewell, but I think the amount of information and the connection between the quarterback and the receiver, I think they're going to go Jamar Chase, which would leave Penei Sewell available to the Dolphins, who just traded Eric Flowers and have a hole at tackle. And as you can see here, and I think the Patriots are going to trade up in this scenario to number seven and pick Justin Fields and stop his slide. I think he has the potential to be a top two, top three quarterback from this class. And the Patriots nab him here. They're not going to be bad for very long. We saw how aggressive they were in free agency, so they're aggressive yet again, and they get their quarterback of the future. Which this is a dream scenario for the Panthers, who went defense all of last year's draft. They every single position that they picked was defense, and they traded for Sam Darnold this year, and they just traded away Teddy Bridgewater. So I think they're going to pick Kyle Pitts and really bolster the team. At number nine, I think the Broncos are going to go with Michael Parsons at linebacker, who he has a lot of character concerns, but a lot of people say it's because of immaturity and not anything major other than that. And I think they're going to get someone that will really bolster the defense after they improved the offense a lot last year. And with none of the quarterbacks left available, I think they're going to roll with Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. And I think at number 10, the Cowboys will pick J.C. Horn. Patrick Surtain is an option here, but I think they're going to go with J.C. Horn just because of his man coverage ability. At number 11, the Giants, I think they're going to pick Jalen Waddle, who has Tyreek Hill level speed and will be a very good slot player and receiver for them and just a versatile weapon in general. At number 12, I think the Eagles would go either Patrick Surtain or Devontae Smith, but I think they'll go Devontae Smith just because of how badly they need weapons, which would leave Rashawn Slater to go to the Chargers as they help improve the offensive line around Joe Burrow. And I think the Vikings in this situation, they could also trade back with a team like the Saints who wants to trade up for a corner. But I think the Vikings go Christian Darrisaw here and further improve their offensive line, which leaves the Lions to again decide between Sertain or Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa or an edge rusher like Azeez Ojulari or Kwity Paye. But I think in this situation they go Kwity Paye and just bolster up the defense, pick one of the best players available with one of the highest potentials. And then I think Christian Barmore will go to the Cardinals just because of their need in the interior D line. They got J.J. Watt to play on the outside. Their receiving core is already one of the best in the league, and there's really not anybody that good with the value. And most of the top offensive linemen are also gone, so I think that's the pick here. And I believe the Raiders go Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah and just further continue to bolster up their linebacking core. They signed Corey Littleton and Nick Kwiatkowski last year, but the Raiders are they didn't really pan out, so I think this would be the Raiders type of pick to make. At number 18, the Dolphins are really interesting because they picked Penei Sewell earlier, and they still have needs at running back, at wide receiver. So I think they'll go Rashad Bateman from Minnesota, who is not in the top three receivers of this class, but is still very, very good. And I believe at number 19, Washington, with JOK off the board, with Michael Parsons off the board, I think they go Elijah Vera Tucker and continue to improve the offensive line, make a better offense for whoever they have a quarterback this year. And I think this is a dream scenario for Chicago, and Patrick Surtain slide ends here, and they go with Patrick Surtain. I don't think they'll be able to trade up for a quarterback because they don't have the draft capital. But I think at number 21, the Colts are going to go with Sam Cosmi from Texas to fill the spot of Anthony Costanzo, who retired this year. At number 22, with the Tennessee Titans, they lost almost all of their cornerbacks this year. They still could use a slot receiver, but I think their most pressing need is edge rusher. And I think they go with the highest potential out of this year's prospects with Jalen Phillips. He has a lot of off the field issues where he almost retired once, but or he didn't almost retire. He retired one time and he's had a lot of injuries, but I think he's the best available prospect here. At number 23, I think the Jets are going to go with Greg Newsome at corner to improve their cornerback room, to improve the defense. I think they could go Caleb Farley, but he has injury concerns and he didn't play last year, which is the reason for his slide down the board. At number 24, I think this is a fairly easy pick to predict. I think the Steelers go Najee Harris. They're rolling with Ben Roethlisberger. They grab the best running back in the class and just hope that it improves the overall offense so they don't experience what happened last year where they fell apart. At number 25, I think the Jaguars go Trayvon Moore, the best safety in this class. There's a lot of other really good players left, but I think he's the best overall prospect for them and a big fit for them. So I think that's the pick for them. At number 26, I think the Browns go Azeez Ojulari out of Georgia at edge. They already have Myles Garrett and they just signed Jadeveon Clowney, but Clowney's known to have injury issues and it's also a 1 year deal. So I think for the long term, this is a really good pick for them. At number 27, the Baltimore Ravens, they could go edge rusher, they could go offensive line, they could go wide receiver, but I think they'll end up going offensive line and just fill the spot that was just vacated by Orlando Brown and draft Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State. At number 28, the Saints get the prospect that they covet the most in Caleb Farley without having to trade up a lot and use a lot of their draft capital. So I think that's a dream scenario for them. As for the Packers at number 29, I think they have to go wide receiver in this draft, and I think they'll go Elijah Moore, who, in my opinion, is the best slot receiver in this year's class, and just try to keep Aaron Rodgers happy. He's been really unhappy this entire year, and since they lost to the Bucks, and I think this will be one step in the right direction towards repairing that relationship. At 30, I think the Bills go Travis Etienne from Clemson, and two running backs go off in the later half of the second round of the first round. And I think Etienne is a great fit for them. He's a really good pass catching back. He's great in between the tackles. He was a baller at Clemson, and I think that just overall improves their team. At 31, I think the Ravens are going to go Joseph Ossai and bolster their edge rushers. They lost Matt Judon in free agency this year, and I think this is just a step in the right direction. And for the last pick of the draft, number 32, with the Tampa Bay Bucks, our Super Bowl champions, I think they go Zaven Collins from Tulsa because of their Levante David's getting old. He signed a 2 year deal, I believe, this offseason. And I think that would be a very good pick for them. So, yeah, that's my last final prediction for this year's draft class. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you.